This is the Primetime News Bulletin here on Joy News on Multi TV. In this edition, popular Ghanaian Hiplife musician Castro still unaccounted for more than 30 hours after he was said to have drowned in a water sport accident. MP and opinion leaders condemn weekend's mob attack at Mambobi, in which a policeman was nearly lynched for shooting a taxi driver. Health Ministry downplays fears about possible Ebola outbreak in Ghana as Oguchi conducts tests on suspected case. Minority raise questions about World Bank loan for school improvements and call for thorough scrutiny of the initiatives to be financed by the facility. And 5 presidential aspirants filed to contest flag bearership of New Patriotic Party on final day. We also have sports, we have business, sports, showbiz and international news, all coming up in the next 60 minutes. Stay tuned.
With Israel Live.
The minority in Parliament says it is unconvinced about some initiatives government is planning to spend a World Bank loan of $156 million on. The school improvement project facility will, among others, see to the construction of 23 new senior high schools and the upgrading of existing ones. The minority MPs, however, say the loan initiatives lack transparency and have asked the World Bank to thoroughly investigate government's plans for the facility.
The $156 million loan contracted by government, apart from the construction of 23 new senior high schools in selected districts, and upgrading of 50 existing ones, will also be used to provide scholarships. An aspect of the scholarship involves the controversial provision of sanitary towels to schoolgirls to keep them in school. The MPs will not say much about the sanitary pads provision, but argued some of the projects were unsustainable, suspecting strongly that the government had a hidden agenda.
After the 3 years, when the loan amount is exhausted, what happens? After the 3 years, how will government get the money to sustain this new expenditure? Already, the Mahama administration is unable to provide for students who are already on government scholarships. This initiative is completely and disturbingly unsustainable. It is obvious that the real motive of government is something else. Otherwise, how can the government take a loan to run a 3-year scholarship program for only 10,400 senior high school students? This is the extent of the fraud we have on our hands as a country. It is shameful, but the government and its majority in Parliament are unable to explain this irregularity.
They also questioned some $15 million of the loan earmarked for research, monitoring and evaluation, and the establishment of a new body to administer the scholarships, sidelining the existing scholarship scheme and secretariat.
On this new scholarship scheme, government has indicated to create another scholarship secretariat, completely independent of the Ghana National Scholarship Secretariat, to manage this transient scholarship program. At the moment, the staff at the Scholarship Secretariat have very little work to do because government cannot provide them with funds to administer to students on state scholarships. But we pay their salaries every month.
They argued the World Bank to look into the project.
Is the bank satisfied with the sustainability consideration of this project? Is it satisfied with the use of substantial portions of the facility for setting up parallel institutions for the purpose of this program? We urge the World Bank to relook at this project and bring good governance considerations to bear. This is important for the bank's credibility.
They overemphasized the MPP's support for any initiative or project that improves education, but believed government is getting its priorities misplaced in the sector. Matilda Humaga for Joy News. Hope is fast fading as Marine Police leading the search for Hiplife musician Castro
and a female friend who went missing Sunday say they have not found their bodies yet. The police are, however, yet to establish if the Hiplife musician and his lady friend are actually dead. The search party has been concentrating on the estuary off the coast, where a white man claimed he saw the two before they went missing. It has been more than 24 hours since the two went missing. ASP James Tay is a marine police officer and tells Joy News they have stepped up efforts to find the two.
Then poured over them, and in that process, if he was speeding, then the jet ski would have left him for a distance. And if you are a good swimmer, then that's when you will have to swim all the way to go and catch it. Secondly, too, was the fact that Castro was in a life jacket, but the lady wasn't on one. So the proposition was also that probably he could have stopped and tried to be helping the lady rather than going to chase the jet ski.
Okay.
And it was in the midst of all this that they are suggesting that they could have drowned.
All right. So all that you're saying are propositions being made by the police as to how the whole incident may have happened. Now, what then were the police doing? You were saying that you were on the boat at the time. What exactly were the police doing in that area, searching or in their search?
It's been virtually combing the areas, and it's only surface searching. There's nothing like diving.
At what point do they intend to go under the water?
That's a question that the police are not able to answer us at now. All they keep telling me is that they can only be limited to the surface, the surface search.
And this is the marine police you're talking about?
This is the marine police, indeed. This is the marine police. So they have been on the river, and interestingly, so far, it's been only one boat, only one search boat that the police are using. Earlier in the day, Aqua Safari released a speedboat, and they also sent a crew who followed the police to go on the patrol. But once they came back, they never went again. It was only the police patrol boat that was going up, down. So later in the day, when the military also used a helicopter to pass through. So it's obvious that the one boat woefully inadequate, and that's where the local people have been agitating. They've been calling that all they needed was fuel so that they will fill their boats and help in it. But since the search has been limited to the police to conduct, and so the people, the community folks who have been offering to help have not really received any green light to go ahead with the search.
Okay, now in the initial stages of any such search, the conclusion is that, well, they're still searching in the hope that they're going to find the person alive. But it's been more than 30 hours. Is there still any hope that he's going to be found alive?
Obviously, Israel, hopes are fading fast. I spoke with a Marine Police Commander, ACP Foster, one Foster who we went on the tour with, and he told me, obviously, the longest one can last underwater is 4 minutes. That's the longest. So if we can talk of, we've already crossed the 24-hour threshold, and now we are soon be running into the second day. So obviously, if there's no hope that if they really went under the water, then there is really no hope of any chance of survival.
They're going to survive.
But all they are hoping is that they will still continue, even if they are dead. They are hoping they will still find a dead body.
Retrieve the bodies.
But for now, they are not giving up hope in continuing with the search.
Okay. Thank you very much. Benjamin Tete, and he is in Adan, and he's joining the police, or he's with the police who are trying to retrieve the bodies of the two who have gone missing, Castro, the Hiplife musician, and the female companion. Meanwhile, a visit by Joy News to the railways quarters at Takoradi, where the family lives. So some family members, including the parents, friends, and well-wishers, gathered in groups around the house to either confirm the news of his death or solicit more information. Majority of them were, however, uncontrollably mourning, and they refused to comment on the matter since the report remains unconfirmed. Others who were in doubt, speaking off camera, said they will not believe the rumor until the said body is found. Meanwhile, the father of Castro and other family members have since departed to Adan to ascertain the truth and the latest about the unfortunate incident. Castro was reported drowned with a lady, a friend, at Adan estuary on Sunday afternoon when he was holidaying with friends, including Asamoah. We have more stories coming up in the bulletin. Do stay tuned. The Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East constituency and opinion leaders of Mamobi Nima have condemned the violent mob attack over the weekend in which a police officer was almost lynched. Property running into tens of thousands of Ghana cedis were also vandalized in the mob's pursuit of the police officer who they alleged had shot a taxi driver.
The MP for the area, Dr. Mustafa Ahmed, was speaking at a news conference on the weekend's violence, said to have been sparked by the shooting of the taxi driver, and declared the community will cooperate with the police in its pursuit of the perpetrators of the violence.
We have gone around to visit all the victims in the hospitals. We've been in touch with the police authorities at the highest level to receive assurances of their commitment to the maintenance of law and order in the community. They have also promised.
Chief Superintendent Nuhu Jango, Nima Divisional Police Commander, says no arrests have been made yet, even though investigations are ongoing.
We are getting pieces of information that the videos were captured, some faces popped up, so we try to do it in the quiet. You know, if you've worked in communities like Nima, you would understand that it is a well-lit society where they themselves, most of the time, want to shelter. People they know are wanted by police. That's not to say they are not cooperative. It is by the very nature of the people. You see, they are each other's keeper, so they don't find too comfortable to expose somebody else. So we are finding it difficult.
Some residents and shop owners who have been speaking about the incident, however, believed the police would have to step up its operations in the area.
Because the police are protecting us, and the more we have this watchdog committee to always patrol to protect.
We are safe long time. Just this, we don't know how this one happened because of the police might shoot the other taxi driver. Because of that, people used to vandalize.
The Ministry of Health has assured health authorities have put enough measures in place to contain a possible outbreak of Ebola in the country. The Ministry's Public Relations Officer, Tony Goodman, was reacting to a report of a suspected case involving an American citizen here in Ghana. Though he confirms the case, he says blood samples are being tested at the Noguchi Memorial Institute of Medical Research in Accra.
The U.S. citizen was said to have fallen ill following trips to Guinea and Sierra Leone, two countries that are experiencing the worst of the Ebola outbreaks, with 305 deaths in Guinea and 101 in Sierra Leone since February. According to the Ministry of Health's Public Relations Officer, Tony Goodman, the patients, including 4 medical staff, have been quarantined at the Nyaho Clinic here in Accra. The tests for the American man are being conducted at Noguchi Memorial Institute of Medical Research in Accra, and the results are expected later today.
I know that the guy had certain things that relates like Ebola, Lassa fever, and hemorrhagic fever. So they quickly alerted the ministry, and then we've asked them to do some few things, which is one, to create a quarantine area, quarantine whoever was taking care of that patient, and also make sure that they don't transfer that patient. And then so we also asked them to give what we call protective gear for them to use. So they are doing that. Check, we've asked Noguchi to take samples, which they've done. So we're only waiting for Noguchi to submit their report by close of day today to confirm whether it is Ebola or otherwise.
The ministry said it has precautionary measures in place, such as providing additional support of public health staff from the ministry at Nyaho Clinic. The authorities add that the American is likely to remain quarantined if the tests are positive. The current Ebola virus outbreak in West Africa is the deadliest ever, claiming the lives of at least 481 people. The World Health Organization only last week held a 2-day Ebola conference in Ghana, which sought to improve cooperation and communication in order to contain the outbreaks. Matilda Pomaga for Joy News, Accra.
The Ghana Nurses and Midwives Trainees Association on Monday hit the streets of Accra to protest non-payment of their allowances for 2 years. The trainees, who have been on an indefinite strike since July 1, are demanding the release of clearance letters and payment of allowances before they resume work.
The trainees who staged a demonstration in Accra say they have not been paid book and research, clinical as well as transportation allowances due them for the past 2 years. The students, numbering over 500 after demonstrating through the principal streets of Accra, massed up at the Hearts of Oak Park to present a petition. They, however, refused to hand over the petition to the Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Alfred Sugutia, who showed up instead of the substantive minister.
She will be here to solve our issue and give us the necessary documents. So we are expecting to see her with the documents, not a verbal assurance. And we can see that our Honorable Deputy Minister is only here to receive the petition and give us a verbal assurance, which we are not ready for. That is it. So we are not presenting the petition because she told us that she is coming to solve our issue with documents. We are not seeing a document. Therefore, we are not presenting a petition, or else we will have to present it to the flag. We are moving from here to the flag staff house and present our issue.
After deliberating with leadership of the group, the national president of the association, Emmanuel Geyevu, read out the petition.
Students being sacked home because they have not been able to pay these huge semester fees due to financial difficulty, hence affecting academic performance. Most certificate trainees that are HATs are being denied registration for their final licentiate examination because they cannot afford to pay their full fees. Their fees in full. Some students are being threatened to be arrested for delay in refunding borrowed monies to pay their fees, accommodation, among others, since they were made to believe that they will be sponsored throughout their period of training. That is the signing of the bond forms. Delay in the payment of this allowance has left some students no option than to resort to inappropriate and incongruous means to survive this unexpected financial turbulence, since they self-sponsor their course of training.
The Deputy Minister of Health assured the group the ministry was going to act as soon as possible.
I want you to realize that what you are bringing up, we shall study it and will make every attempt to address some of the challenges confronting you, to make it possible for you to study very hard and come out as well-qualified nurses to help us deliver quality healthcare services to our people.
The Ghana Nurses and Midwives Trainees Association have meanwhile given government 48 hours to address their concerns. Until then, they have resolved not to work until further notice. Matilda Pomaga for Joy News, Accra.
Time now for some business reports with me, Abigail Adumakoinchi. Now, the Ghana Interbank Payment Systems GIPS is introducing the Instant Interbank Payment System and has already completed its end of the process. The electronic payment system will enable money transferred from one account to another to be credited to the receiver instantly, making interbank payment happen in real time. Chief Executive of GIPS, Achi Hesse, who confirmed progress on the introduction of the Interbank Instant Payment Service, traders said it would encourage businesses to use the banking system since they are assured of instant payment transaction from one bank account to another.
Now we are just at the very tailoring end to introduce instant pay. This is where interbank instant pay. So if I have to give you, send money to you at the comfort of my home behind my PC, I could log onto my bank's website and actually effect payment directly into your account. And if you have your ATM card and you are outside and I say, right, I have paid you, you can actually go into the ATM at the very same moment and actually withdraw funds. We intend to roll out a number of innovative products around what we call around the instant pay, like modernizing all wholesale payments, areas where payments must be effected before goods are dispatched. So we might actually host the website of the producers on our servers, and individuals can actually have access to it, make their select their requirements, and then make payments. And the producers and the manufacturers will actually see funds lodged into their account, and then they can dispatch payments. So these cement wholesalers, the brewers wholesalers, they would not necessarily have to walk into a bank or take transport to specific locations to make cash payments. And that's something that we are going to start working on quarter 3, quarter 4 of this year.
Now, the Trade Ministry says it would prosecute foreigners found operating in retail markets. The warning was contained in a public notice signed by Trade Minister Haruna Idrisu. The notice also cautioned to put on trial anyone found to be renting out his or her stall in the retail market to a foreigner. The country's investment laws currently bar foreigners from trading in retail markets. Analysts see this move too as an attempt to calm down retail traders who recently closed their stalls because of the lack of protection by government. To some other stories, you may have to cough up at least 7 Ghana cedis more to pay for a bag of cement. Joy Business checks on the retail market reveal a bag which until now was selling for 25 cedis in the capital is now selling between 32 and 38 Ghana cedis. This has been blamed on the current scarcity of the product on the market. The manufacturers are also attributing this to production challenges, including mainly erratic power outages and the cedi depreciation, which has affected the importation of their raw materials. Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Ebenezer Telabi has blamed government's inability to adequately meet the country's infrastructure needs on the slump in cocoa and gold prices on the international market. According to him, government lost $1.5 billion in export revenues due to the slump. He says revenue generated from oil is also not enough to meet the infrastructure gap. Government in recent times has been criticized for failing to invest the country's oil revenue in infrastructure development. But Ebenezer Telabi says government's hands are tied because of the developments on the world market. Mr. Telabi believes adding value to raw materials and purchasing locally made products should help the country out of the current economic challenges. If you're an electrical technician, you will be required certification by the Energy Commission to be able to trade in Ghana from next year. Property owners and estate developers who engage uncertified practitioners to wire their houses will not have power supply connected to their premises. A report by Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin.
The measures are in line with the Electrical Wiring Regulation of 2012, passed as part of measures to prevent frequent fire outbreaks in public and private buildings. The certification stages consist written examination, practical examination and interview. Those who wish to practice as electricians without any educational background may undergo wiring works training only as apprentices under the supervision of a certified electrical professional. The certified electrical professional shall be responsible for all the works performed by the apprentice. Building contractors and landlords are also warned to employ the services of certified electricians or lose their chances of being connected to the national grid. Victor Ousu is Public Relations Officer of the Commission.
In fulfillment of these processes of certification, they will be called Certified Electrical Wiring Professionals, CUWP. What we are doing here is the second day of the practical assessment examinations. We are going to certify them, and as we did last year, there is a law in place now regulating the business of electrical wiring, and that law requires that people who practice electrical wiring business in this country should be certified by the Energy Commission. That means that if you don't possess a certificate issued by the Energy Commission, you cannot practice your trade as an electrician.
And that'll be all for business. I'm Abigail Adumakoinchi. There's more news ahead. Do stay.
Some sports now, and Black Stars coach Kwesi Appiah is set to receive an 83% salary increment after the Ghana FA made public their intentions to retain the ex-Stars captain. Kwesi Appiah, who has been asked to win the 2015 Nations Cup in Morocco, will receive a whopping sum of $876,000 in his new 2-year deal. Checks by Joy Sports reveal coach Kwesi Appiah's 2-year contract extension as Black Stars coach will cost the Ghana Football Association $876,000. The checks further reveal the ex-Ghana captain will earn $100,000 signing on fee. Appiah's salary will be up to $36,500, which is an 83% increment to the $20,000 he earned in his previous contract. Appiah was appointed Ghana coach in April 2012 and was tasked to win the 2013 African Cup of Nations and qualify the team to the World Cup. Last week, President Kwesi Nyantakyi announced the executive committee of the Ghana Football Association had agreed Appiah continued his job despite failing to progress from the group stage at the 2014 World Cup finals. A deal for a mandate extension was reached before the tournament began last month. Meanwhile, the national under-17 team are through to the final round of qualifying in the African under-17 Championship after South Sudan pulled out of the competition. The Black Starlets will now face either Burkina Faso or Cameroon in the third round stage of the African qualifiers. The winner of both legs will reach the final of the championship to be staged by Nigeria next year. Park Kwesi Fabian's side are yet to play a competitive game in their qualifying campaign after their first round opponents Kenya also withdrew from the competition. Again to Nigeria, Joe, but we still talk about money. It's money everywhere. Nigeria's World Cup squad have received a sum of $130,000 as appearance fees for participating in the ongoing World Cup in Brazil, but are likely to lose their major sponsor Adidas after Nigeria's government asked the Football Federation for poor performance at the World Cup. Nigeria's World Cup squad have received $130,000 each as appearance fee for participating in the ongoing FIFA World Cup. This is $30,000 above what the Black Stars received at the World Cup. The players boycotted their training session at the World Cup before the money was paid. This is outside the match bonus and daily allowances they were paid. The players who qualified Nigeria for a 5th World Cup also got a share of FIFA's largesse. Team officials were not left out of the largesse, with the least getting about $25,000. But it was not all plain sailing, as there were disagreements, particularly with regards to whether those who qualified the team for Brazil 2014 should also be a part of the parents' fee. Meanwhile, the crisis that has rocked Nigerian football, occasioned by the sacking of the Aminu Magari-led Nigerian Football Federation Board, has taken another twist, as the major sponsor of the team has suspended its cooperation with Nigeria. Sportswear Adidas has suspended its involvement with Nigeria with immediate effect and has given Nigeria a Tuesday deadline to revert to the decision or be suspended from all its football activities. With Nigeria, and the row with World Football Governing Body FIFA has deepened in the last hours over the sacking of NFF Chairman Magari and his entire staff. FIFA expects Nigeria to reverse the action, but the government is adamant.
Fallout from Nigeria's exit from the World Cup continues, with FIFA threatening to ban the West African nation from footballing activities after the leaders of the Nigerian Football Federation were removed from office and the NFF's president arrested on return from Brazil. Allegations of corruption in the NFF have caused the nation considerable embarrassment at the World Cup. The Nigerian Football Federation stand accused of gross mismanagement of over $5 million given to the federation as part of payment to prepare the team for the World Cup.
We have not fought the status, so it's only when we fought the status of FIFA that they will ban us. And again, don't forget that in as much as we respect the FIFA's law, we cannot jettison our own law here, because their own football here has our own statute.
FIFA says it's taken note of the detention of the NFF president, Aminu Maigari, carried out by representatives of the State Security Service. FIFA says Nigeria's government must reinstate the federation's executive committee by Tuesday or risk a ban.
We will do our best to let FIFA know that there is no government interference. Government does not intend to interfere. And I can assure you, I will not interfere.
FIFA rules protect the member federations from government interference, while a FIFA suspension bars teams and officials from international matches and meetings.
Well, let's stay with the subject of the World Cup, and Netherlands goalkeeper Jasper Cillessen admits that he was frustrated at being substituted for Tim Krul before the penalty shootout against Costa Rica. Manager Louis van Gaal substituted Cillessen for Krul in the dying minutes of the game, and he turned out to save two crucial penalties to ensure the victory went to the Dutch.
Dutch #1 goalkeeper Jasper Cillessen admitted on Sunday that he didn't have any idea he would be substituted off the pitch if the Netherlands quarter-final with Costa Rica went to a penalty shootout.
I didn't know it before. The coach told Tim before, but not me, so for me it was a big surprise. But he knew more about it, so I'll let him answer it.
Yeah, like Jasper said, the manager and the goalie coach told me before the game, if we had another substitution left, the possibility will be there that he will use me in the penalty shootout. So yeah, obviously for me, the whole game, I was watching it in a different view, because I knew the possibility could be there.
The Newcastle United stopper said the substitution played a pivotal role in the result of the match and that he was happy to have helped his team on the day.
I think it definitely had an impact. When I started my warm-up, I think the whole bench was kind of confused what was going on. And I think if you see their manager's face when I came on, he was looking over to our manager to see his face was priceless, I think. So it's definitely one of those, yeah, we've won, but it definitely had a big impact.
All right, so they are coaches and they are coaches and they are coaches. Louis van Gaal, certainly absolutely fantastic. Let me just end with this on a sad note. Real Madrid legend Alfredo Di Stefano, regarded as one of the greatest players of all time, has died. The 88-year-old suffered a heart attack on Saturday and had been in an induced coma in Madrid's Marinan Hospital. As a forward, he won 5 straight European Cups, scoring in each final between 1956 and 1960, and the tributes continue to pour in from the football fraternity. Alex Ferguson has had his turn, of course. Bobby Charlton has also had his turn there. Sad news for Real Madrid, certainly, but that'll be all for sports tonight. I'm George Addy Jr. Israel joins us with some more. Have a good night.
New Patriotic Party's flag bearer in the 2012 elections, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has charged the rank and file of the party to focus on recapturing power so they could use their wealth of competence to redeem Ghana, which he says is on the path of backwardness. Nana Addo, who is seeking to contest the flag bearership again, was at the party's headquarters together with 4 other aspirants to file their nominations.
The first to file his nomination was Dr. Knedu Apreku. He said the problems that the party faced in 2012 still persist and added he will be a unifying force to bring all on board to address the challenges in order for the party to win the 2016 elections.
There are a lot of problems that we faced in 2012 election that we have not had the chance to rectify. The problems that occurred at our polling stations throughout the country. The work that we all saw on TV, very embarrassing. We have to go back and do the right things and ensure that we undertake rigorous selection process.
He also stated he intends transforming the country through the agricultural sector. Next to file was Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who was accompanied by a massive crowd which had a number of party bigwigs. He called on all party members to unite for victory in 2016.
We keep our eyes on the main goal, winning power in 2016, so that we can put in place a competent government that can deliver good government and the economic development of our country. We in the MPP, we have a lot of competent men and women. And there are lots of people in the Ghanaian diaspora and here who put together under purposeful leadership can give this country the government that it truly deserves.
Nana Addo expressed confidence all the aspirants will go about their campaign with civility and decorum and promised Ghanaians hope when given the nod in 2016.
Ghanaian diaspora and here who put together under purposeful leadership can give this country the government.
All right, we're going back to one of our top stories for this evening, which has to do with the results of a test conducted on a suspected case of Ebola. We're getting information that it turns out that the test results came out negative. So, in fact, Ghana is still Ebola virus free. We just got the information from the Ghana Health Service. We're hoping to speak to Dr. Pia Dentra. Apparently, we've lost him on the line, but that's the very latest. The news is that the test conducted on a suspected case of Ebola turned out to be negative. We bring you showbiz next.
Showbiz is brought.
Ghanaian celebrities have been expressing great shock following the news of the disappearance of Hiplife artist Castro, who is now believed to have died. Whereas some believe earlier reports suggesting the artist had died, others still keep hope that he may be found alive. Here's what some celebrities have been saying on social media platforms when information started spreading about the musician's accident.
Social media users, particularly those on Twitter, quickly started tweeting with some shreds of doubt. Hiplife grandpapa Reggie Rockstone first tweeted, "My phone's blowing up about Castro and I pray this is not true, people. Called him but no pick. He returns calls late, so I will wait. All pray now." But even before the night was over, he simply tweeted again, "Damn." Joy FM's DJ Black also took to Twitter, "Can't believe what I'm hearing. Castro under fire?" Bright of Bookbug fame, who last year lost his colleague Ronnie, posted a picture of Castro on his knees with a caption, "Please Lord." Guba founder Denta posted, "I saw him this morning. A few hours later he can't be found. Hashtag Castro, hashtag speechless, hashtag confused. Please find him." Dancehall act Samini simply tweeted, "Wow, life, shaking my head." The FOKN boys couldn't help but pay their tribute. One artist where FOKN boys get so much respect and admiration for be Castro. What a talent, what a loss. We constantly praise him in convo. But it is TV presenter Anita Eskin's tweet which struck a chord. And so it's only in the end that things in the past make sense. Listen to Adonai again. His message for pray.
Showbiz.
Shooting a taxi driver. Health Ministry downplays fears about possible Ebola outbreak in Ghana as Noguchi conducts tests on suspected cases. Meanwhile, the very latest we're getting is that the tests are indeed negative. Minority raises questions about World Bank loan for school improvement and call for thorough scrutiny of the initiatives to be financed by the facility. And 5 presidential aspirants have filed to contest the flag bearership of the New Patriotic Party on the final day. That'll be all for the bulletin. My name is Israelite. Thank you very much for watching and have a good evening.